Hey everyone, today we are solving another classic LeetCode problem, palindrome number. This problem tests our understanding of mathematical operation, number manipulation, and edge cases. Before jumping into solutions, let's first understand the problem statement clearly. So, we are given an integer x, and we need to return true if x is a palindrome and false otherwise. A palindrome is a number that reads the same forward and backward. Like, for example, you have heard about the palindrome strings as well, right? If you have given a string ABA, then it is a palindrome. Because if you read from left to right, it's ABA. And if you read from right to left, it's ABA itself. Similarly, for the numbers, if it is a 1 to 1, then it is a palindrome. Since if we read it from left to right, it is 1 to 1. And if we read it from right to left, it is 1 to 1 as well. If we consider another number like 1 to 3, if we read it from left to right, it is 1 to 3 itself, but right to left, it is 3 to 1. So it is not a palindrome. Let's understand with the given examples as well. We have seen for 1 to 1, it is a palindrome. For minus or a negative number, it is not a palindrome because minus 1 to 1, ka palindrome will be 1 to 1 minus, which is not equal to minus 1 to 1. So this is not a palindrome. When x is equal to 10, from right to left, you can see it can be read as 0, 1, and 0, 1 is not equal to 1, 0. That's why this is not a palindrome as well. If x is given as 0, then it is a palindrome. So basically, all single digit numbers will be a palindrome itself because when read from left to right, it would be similar as to that read from right to left as well. So the important things to notice from the problem statement or the constraint is like the given input integer can be positive as well as negative. We should solve this without extra space if possible, and we need to handle edge cases like single digit numbers or the trailing zeros. The basic approach that comes to our mind is converting this number to a string. This is the simplest, but it is not the best approach for interviews. Let's see in detail why. So first, let's discuss about this approach. The idea behind this approach is first convert the given integer to string, then reverse the string, and on the third step, compare it with the original string. If both are equal, then return true, otherwise return false. So the code for this approach is really simple. First, we are converting the given integer to a string using toString method of integer class. Then we will reverse the string using string builder class and reverse method of string builder class. Then we will just compare str with reverse str and then return the result based. If they are equal, then it will be returned as true or else false. What is the time complexity for this? This reversing will take big of n time as it will reverse it by character, right? And also we are using extra space for str as well as rev str. So our time complexity is basically big of n being the length of number, and our time space complexity is also big of n because of this str and reverse str that we are using. Now, guys, this can be optimized using two pointers as well. But again, we need to convert this given integer to a string as well. For example, if our number is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and we want to use a two-pointer approach, we can have one pointer here, we can have another pointer at the end of the string, and compare the contents or the characters at the particular pointers. Is character at p1 equal to yeah, then move forward. Then p1 comes here, P2 comes here. And this way, we can optimize the algorithm to big of n only, and also the space is also big of n, just that you don't need extra space to store the reverse string, right? Let's have a quick look at the code as well. So look, if you look at the code, we have first converted our integer to string. Then we have two pointers at the start of the string and at the end of the string, n is the length of the string. Now, while my P1 is less than equal to P2, I'm just comparing the characters at from the beginning wala and from the end wala. And if those characters are not equal, I just return false from here itself. Now, if this, and then incrementing P1 and then decrementing P2, while my P1 is less than equal to P2. As soon as my P1 is greater than P2, there is no point in comparing those characters again. So I'll just break the loop. And if this condition is never executed, we can safely assume that our given string or the given number is a palindrome, and we can return true from here itself. Now, if you analyze the time complexity, this while loop will itself take as a big of n by 2, right? Which is in turn bigger of n itself. So our time complexity is big of n. And what is our space complexity? Since we are converting and storing it into a string variable, our space complexity is also big O of n. This is little optimized from the above approach. But still, this is not what interviewers is also expecting. This is another way to write the brute force approach itself. So let's discuss the most optimized mathematical approach for this question. Now, before we move to the solution by this approach, by this mathematical approach, there are some key observations that you can see based on the input that we were given. Like if you see, negative numbers can never be palindromes. Why? Because of the negative sign. So we can safely assume that negative numbers are never palindromes. Second observation, for the example x is equal to 10, we can see we never start our number using 0. So the numbers which are ending with 0 can never be palindromes since since 10 is not equal to 1. These are the edge cases that you need to handle in your code. Now let's move to the approach, like how we can reverse half of the number. Let's see how we can do that. For example, if you have been given a number 1221, the idea behind this approach is somehow reverse this number and compare it with the first half of the number. If your number is even length, we just need to check it with the first half. If your number is odd length, we just need to skip the middle element as well. We can see how we can check for the odd length palindromes as well. I'll just quickly write the code for this one and then we can discuss with the dry run as well. Let's assume we are handling the edge cases separately, like for the negative numbers and the numbers ending with zeros. We will talk about the main logic. We have this variable half wherein we are storing the other half and a condition to extract the other half. What will be the condition here? The condition here itself is x is greater than half. Whatever number we are generating here, as long as it is smaller than x, we will run this loop because we just need the half of the number. You will understand it in the dry run itself. If my x is equal to half, this is for even length palindromes. Or my x is equal to half by 10. Means we are just dividing, like for example, if your half was 123, we are just dividing it by 10, we will get 12. And for this is for odd length palindromes. Let's quickly dry run on this one using this number x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Initially, my half is 0 and my x is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. My x 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 is greater than 0, then what will my half become? My half will become 0 into 10 plus x mod 10. X mod 10 will give you the remainder. So when you do mod 10, it will just give you the last digit of that number. So my half becomes 1. Now is, and then we just divide this x by 10. 1, 2, 3, 2. This is what my number is. Let's use different color. Now my half is 1. My x is 1, 2, 3, 2. Tell me, is 1, 2, 3, 2 greater than half? Yes, it is. So we will again calculate our half, which will be 1 into 10 plus x mod 10. X mod 10 will be 2, which becomes 12. And again, we'll divide this x by 10, which will give us 1, 2, 3. Now tell me, is my x 1, 2, 3 is greater than half, which is 12 currently? Yes. Then what we'll do, we'll compute half again. 12 into 10 plus x is 1, 2, 3 mod 10, which will give us as 3. 120 plus 3 becomes 1, 2, 3. Again, we will divide this x by 10. So my x becomes 12 now. Now tell me, is 12 greater than 1, 2, 3? No, so we'll break this loop and we'll just return the result from here. Is my x 1, 2, 3? Sorry. Is my x 1, 2 equal to 1, 2, 3? No. But is my x 1, 2 equal to 1, 2, 3 divided by 10 is equal to 12? Yes, then from here it will return true. I hope you have understood the drawing of this approach. Let's quickly discuss with the time complexity. Since we are dividing this number by 10 always, our time complexity will be big of 10 of n being the length of the number. And since we are not using any extra space, our space complexity is big of 1. So this is what your interviewer expect from you when you're asked to solve palindrome number. I've observed like when we were discussing about this approach, our time complexity was big of n. But isn't it kind of constant only since integer will have maximum of 32 bits, 31, 32 bits, whatever it is. So our n is between 0 to 32 bits. So it's not a big of a deal. But still, this problem is all about testing your mathematical knowledge. So interviewer will expect the mathematical approach. Let's code this out in the LeetCode and let's see if our solution works or not. So that you also have a working code in front of you.
So let's start with the code, guys. So as per the observations, we have seen that negative numbers and number ending in 0, except for the 0 itself, are not palindrome. So if my x is less than 0 or x mod 10 equal to 0, but my x is not equal to 0, then I'll just straight away return false from here only. Now I have this half variable which will store the reversed half. For let's change the variable name to reverse half for better understanding. While my x is greater than reverse half into 10 plus x mod 10. Here we are extracting the last digit of the number and divide the x further by 10, and in the end we are just checking if my x equal to reverse half, and in case of odd number or odd length palindrome or odd length number, we will check reverse half by 10, then we will return true itself or else will return false. Let's run this and solution got accepted.
This problem is great for practicing mathematical thinking and number manipulation. If you found this explanation helpful, let me know in the comments. Happy coding. Bye bye. See you in the next video.